to the table where the truth gets served. Economics, religion, we hitting every word. From the politics to fashion to the beats in the film, TV to culture, we break it down with him. With the love of God, homie, we stand posy. Truth over noise, yeah, that's mandatory. Purpose and calling, we answer that line. The Wallins in the building, it's kingdom time.
We talk that talk, fellowship talk, we walk that walk. With God on our side, we can't fall off. Fellowship talk, the Wallins said it all. Fellowship talk, the Wallins said it all. Yeah.
This the hottest podcast with your host, the Wallins. Truth and love in the mix. Yeah, we all in. Fellowship talk, you heard it here first. With Rock Ride 2, put the kingdom on burst.
Fellowship talk with the Wallins. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. We're live. It's a blessing to be here because we're blessed to be here. Isn't that something? We got a special guest, extraordinary businessman, economic developer, man of God, man of purpose, my brother, Mr. Martin. What's happening with it?
Hey, man, it's all good. Like I heard somebody say one time, it is a great day to be alive.
Oh,
Thank you
man.
for having me. Thank you for having me. I certainly appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. This is a blessing because my motto I would say to my listeners right here on Fellowship Talk, you could have been anywhere across the world, but Mr. Martin, you could have been anywhere across the world, and you're here with the Wallins right here on Fellowship Talk. Mr. Waller working overtime. What's happening with it?
Hey, how's it going, fam?
Oh, man, I'm blessed. Like my brother would say, I'm alive and sticking to the script. What's happening?
Oh, man, I'm just really excited about, picking Derrick's brain on a couple of issues and just getting into it.
Now hold up. Now let me intervene.
I'm sorry, man. We don't pick brains around here.
Okay. Yeah, out of respect for my real partner, because, I'm a man of business, and if someone told me in a situation of a consulting matter, and they say, Mr. Wallin, I like everything you're doing, and I would like to pick your brain. We can't do that. We picking checks over here with all due respect. Nothing more, nothing less. But at the same time, my brother, Mr. Martin, I want to talk to you about your profession as a black man in America, because I don't want to use the term wearing a lot of hats. I just want to say more like executive from the streets to the suites, because you have a history of so many great things that you're doing. The first purpose, and for those that are listening, who is Derrick Martin?
Well, I tell you, man, if you ask my family, if you ask my friends, if you ask my colleagues, you'll probably get different answers. But I would like to think myself as a principled individual, right? For me, it's always basic. It's my family. It's my God. And it's what it's all about. So as a principled man, it's about just doing what I need to do, not just myself, but for my community as well.
Beautiful. And that's real because, when someone like yourselves has this type of power in corporate America and just business as an executive, it's always great to know who is the person and how this comes. And as an economic developer and a consultant, and I know that you have a lot of leadership in the NFL Trust, and I know that you ran for mayor, political involvement as a community engineering. How did you get into this profession?
Well, it's funny. So, I kind of give you the 30,000 foot view, So I changed my football career after playing at the University of Arkansas. And after being cut twice, I realized that, hey, man, I'm going to have to do what 98.5% of athletes end up doing, and that's entering into the workforce. And so just through chance, I stumbled upon an opportunity in Detroit working for General Motors. And while I was working for General Motors, I went through what they call a tour of duty. That means I almost touched just about every sector within GM, from project management to program management to manufacturing engineering to manufacturing management. So I did that for 13 years. What happened, I ended up reaching a ceiling. And that ceiling was I could make as much money as I wanted to, but I could not reach that executive level, which was my destination. So I actually, put myself in position. I took a buyout, moved from Detroit back to Phoenix, Arizona. And here's what's important. It's about your network. If you're not networking, you're not trying. And it was because of my network that I literally fell into the space of economic development and workforce development, and realized that, I had an incredible passion for it. And so, doing that, there was a segment until when I transferred, I always had a knack for professional sports. And because I didn't make it, I had close friends that did make it. And so as a close friend, man, I found myself dibbling and dabbling and closing deals and brokering deals for them. And so a passion created from a standpoint to where it was more of a hobby. But then I realized, man.
So you saying that you was an architect, because at the same time you just said that you had the network to obtain the net worth. So it wasn't really about networking, because we know that a garbage man that takes your trash out, he can network. But you said under the sound of your voice that you had the network to obtain the net worth. And I like that. And at the same time, as a young man, you were brokering these deals as a hobby. Would you believe that to be true?
You know what? In God's timing, right? The word of God says that, your work will make room for you. And it just so happens that I believe my work is whatever I put my hands to. And so, yes, I was doing it as a hobby, but in hindsight, it ended up becoming work. And so you're absolutely right. What I ended up doing is creating multiple streams of income for myself. I didn't realize at the time that's what I was doing, but that's what ended up happening, creating multiple streams of income for myself. And so we have to be able to move intentionally, which many of us don't. And it's your show, it's brothers like you that will help people to understand you got to move intentionally.
Intentionally.
Yeah, I know that's right, man. And I can tell you, I could vouch for Mr. Martin. Me and him, I came across a situation in the community that was beyond my true business scope, and I had to call on my dear friend, Mr. Martin, and I sure appreciate you, brother, because you really, showed me, how far, one can really leverage a deal, and you walked me through that, and I'll never forget when I said, I was working for a corporation at the time, and I said, Mr. Martin, man, how do I get paid on this? You told me, man, you don't get paid, man, you get a salary. But that broke my heart, man.
Right.
You had to stand 10 toes down and look at the situation. I feel you.
So, Mr. Martin, how did you end up in the Big East?
It's funny. So, it's funny in a sense. So as I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, working deals, bringing stadiums to life and light rails and brokering economic development deals, the city of New Orleans was dying at the time because of Hurricane Katrina that happened in 2005. Well, in 2012, they realized that we need to put together a world-class economic development team that's going to help dig them out of the hole. And I was encouraged to apply for an open seat. And it was a competitive opportunity. Had probably 10 or 15 people that was interviewing for it. And fortunately, I came out as their candidate. So I moved to New Orleans on the premise that it was going to be a 3-year project. Myself, the executive leadership team, we wrote the 5-year strategic plan for the city of New Orleans that took them until their 300-year anniversary, which was 2018. Well, fortunately, I had a lot of growth there. In a period of 3 years, I had significant promotions. Went from a director to senior VP to CEO of the largest taxing district within Orleans Parish. So I had tremendous amount of success there. And during that time frame, as you mentioned, I had an opportunity to run for mayor simply because I wanted to make an impact. Now, here's the key. I mentioned earlier about being intentional, right?
Yes, sir.
I didn't necessarily want to really have the role of the mayor, but because I had all eyes on me, I was intentional about putting myself out there. So if I can get on the stage and talk about economic development and how we're going to grow the economy, I knew that people across the U.S. was listening. And although, I came up short in that victory, I still had victory because I had multiple interviews of leading economic development in other parts of the U.S. So I was intentional about what I was doing. I didn't just jump in and take that role because it was an opportunity. I took it because I know I needed more visibility. And the one way to be able to do that was to get on a national stage. And that did just that for me.
As it should. But I want you to think about something, Mr. Martin, because it was a tragedy with Katrina. And
Indeed.
as you from the soil of Louisiana, and you've been blessed to be put into this position, can you share with those that are listening, how did you feel? What did it look like? And as someone in this position, where's the reform of the rebuilding? Because economically, the funds are not there. There's a false witness, a false promise that Louisiana is going to be built with a new opportunity. We haven't really seen any of that. So is it the factor that this was strategically planned to self-destruct Louisiana? And where's the money to help the redevelopment of Louisiana? And let's think about this. Let's think about Big Mama Johnson in Louisiana. They're saying, Mr. Martin, I like all the great things that you're doing, and I'm here to support, but we are still in the same position. We don't have anything of a health economy. We don't have nice grocery stores. We don't have anything tangible based on medical. We don't have outlets. Is it based on the disparity of Louisiana and based on what it's perceived to look like based on the world? What's your thoughts?
So I'm going to try to take it from a grassroots perspective. One, the money did come, right?
Right.
But like most cities, we so often look at corrupt politicians.
Okay.
I'm going to ask your audience to take a different perspective, because how did those corrupt politicians get into office? They voted them in. So you got to come all the way back and take some accountability. And so if you're not out networking in your community, if you're not out interviewing these candidates, if you're not understanding who's behind the campaign, if you're not doing your due diligence, you can't say we got corrupt. No, it's because of you, your neighborhood, your community, your city is why those people are in office.
But what about this? What about this as a young man that will say, well, Mr. Martin, I've been voting all my life and I'm still in the same position. Or I've seen my elders, my parents that have voted for change and we're still in the same position. So they're discouraged from the voting mechanism.
And I would say, I understand. If we're going to believe the word, if we're going to believe the gospel says fight the good fight. Right? It says don't grow weary in doing good. Come on, man. If we going to stick with the word of God, we have to know the word of God.
Right.
And if it says don't get weary in doing good, that means you can't get tired. And so for me, I was only there for almost 3 years when I got frustrated. So what did I do? I didn't just vote. I pivoted and jumped into the race. And now I start talking to the people about what needs to happen. Here's how Austin did what they did. Here's how Atlanta grew at the pace of 10 times our rate. Here's how cities such as Houston is growing. Well, I did this because I got tired of just voting. So I got out there and I did more than just cast my vote. I got out there to start talking about it and encouraging people to look at what we were actually doing as a people. So there's always more that we can do, right? Going back again to the word being intentional.
Amen, Mr. Martin. In the words of Mr. Church Music, call to action.
A call.
Get off the couch.
Come on.
And get active.
That's it. It's a call. You're absolutely right. That's it. Call to action. Right? You have to be intentional about what you want to do.
And I'm
go to the community meeting.
Right.
Write your senators, your U.S. senators, your mayors, your city council people. Go to the town hall meetings and tell them what the community needs. Get off of the couch, stop scrolling, and get active.
That's what it's about. Listen, in my profession as an economic developer, people always ask me, Derrick, exactly what is economic development? Well, if you ask 10 people, you're probably gonna get 10 different answers.
Right.
But it's simple. Economic development is creating a healthy, and I'll start from the top, creating a healthy country, a healthy state, a city, community, or neighborhood. Because you can be an economic developer in your neighborhood. You can be an economic developer in your city. And so what does that mean? That means to grow the base by job creation or business development. So you walk into a downtown area and you can't see any jobs. You hear that all the time. One of the biggest, culprits of the U.S. is job creation. If you're not creating jobs, man, I'm gonna show you a community that's doing bad as far as crime. You show me a community that's thriving with regards to jobs, and I'm gonna show you a community that has less crime. And so, that's what it's about. And Lamont, you're right on point, as opposed to these people work for you. And it's easy to sit there and cast stones through social media.
Right.
But the work comes from showing up, going to your city hall, knowing who your elected officials are. I would ask your audience to ask themselves, who is your councilman in your district? Do you know him or her? Have you met with them? And if you haven't, man, you can't say nothing about what they're doing because you're not doing your part.
And you heard my brother say, for those that are listening, you have to do your part. And you have to know who your political officials are, your city council. If the mission is to create change, let's not blame, and let's step up the game and use wisdom in all things. And I like that you said that, Mr. Martin. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what it boils down to. And I know we're limited on time, but just want to throw some ideas out there, some I would say life lessons, some nuggets, if you will. One is to know who your elected officials are, particularly if you casting that vote. If you're casting that vote, man, listen, you get to your neighborhood. In my neighborhood, we meet with our city council member at least once a year, right? He has a large district, but at the end of the day, I have him come to my neighborhood. I've got 585 homes, which 518 are occupied, and they vote. And I don't care if they vote for somebody else. At the end of the day, hey, he's our council member. I need you to be at this meeting, and I need that council member to show up. And I take the initiative to lead the question and the checklist. So when they say, hey, our streets have been ignored for the last 15 years, and you said when you were campaigning, this is what you were going to do, I'll take the initiative to hold his feet to the fire. And it's been times where I've had 65 to 100 people show up at City Hall basically saying, hey, you said you was going to do this. Where are we? They don't want that smoke, man. They don't want it. So what's happening is you actually holding them accountable. You got our vote, and if you want it again, here's what you're going to do. And so what happens is when you start seeing action, now people start showing up. Oh my goodness, man, this is what he's doing. Hey, look, we got to keep our foot on the pedal. Now that's your city council members. That's your mayor. That is your senators. That is your governor. You have to be able to vote. Now, if we move further into it, now I'm asking you, wherever you bank at, I don't care if it's Regions, I don't care if it's Capital One, Chase Bank, or your local credit union. Do you know the manager there? If not, shame on you. Don't tell me I can't get no loan from the bank. How you gonna get a loan from the bank if you don't even know who the manager is? They got your money. I don't care if it's $18 in there, 18,000 or 18 million. At the end of the day,
that's right.
At the end of the day, they got your money. And if you develop a relationship with them, they will show you how to get it. I'm telling you what I know, not what somebody told me. And so it's about doing your part and knowing who's in your space.
The word my brother says intentional. And we need to pay attention to that because we're lacking in so many areas of a disparity, not having the will to hustle and to know, but we want all the results, but we won't even exercise the simplicity to know what's important. Mr. Wallins, I want you to think about this because I know you specialize in business. For both with this question is are we suffering in Black America? Is it the same song or is it a James Brown talking loud ain't saying nothing? And you said the key word, Mr. Martin. you were frustrated. And I think Black America, as well as the world, we're all frustrated. And is it the fact that we're looking for immediate results, where we're being let down with that, or what is keeping us from behind, where we're not going forward?
That's a great question, and I'm going to try to give you the best answer. Now, I'm not going to say this is the gospel, but I'm going to tell you it starts with, again, being intentional. Here's what I mean. You got to be in the know. I'm asking your listeners, do you know who your city council person is? Do you know who your banker is? Okay, let's go deeper. Do you know what's coming in your backyard? Do you know if there's an Amazon coming? Do you know if there's a Microsoft coming? Do you know if there's a new manufacturing facility coming? You got to be able to know that by being in the know. And we be in the know by going to meetings,
right,
being active and reading. We don't read. Okay? That's one. We don't read. But here's the other thing that you can control. Some things are uncontrollable, but some things you can control. For example, there's 3 things that I would say to you and your listeners. Listen, get your credit right, get you some property, and work on your revenue streams. And here's what I mean by credit. Listen, they run your credit for the simplest of things. You're going to need it. But I promise you this, if you know your banker, man, I don't care if you got a 610 credit score. Depending on what you want to do, and you got a strong relationship and rapport with your banker, they're going to work with you and show you how to make it happen. There's a process. Now, whether or not you want to go through that process, that's on you. Now, property, here it is. We have to talk about wealth. The easiest way to build wealth is through home ownership. And what happens is we have so many people who are renting instead of buying. We got to look at that. We got to adjust. We can't say, well, no, I can't afford that. No, man, stop telling yourself that. Because you tell yourself you can't afford it, what do you think going to happen? You're not going to be able to afford it. What happens is we got to be able to spend within our means. We're trying to keep up with the community. We're trying to keep up with social media, with the $200 shoes and the $1,200 purses and the $300 T-shirts. No, man, that's not what we're supposed to do. And what happens is we encourage that. Right? My kids understand because I talk to my kids. My kids understand how to balance a budget. They get their allowance. They understand how to spend within their means. Action speaks louder than words. Right? I don't have a 2025 whatever. No, I got a 2018 something that gets me from point A to point B.
Hey, Derrick, say it again for him.
Come on, man. You, man. Let me tell you something, man.
Let them break that down for you real slow for those that are listening. To my brother, please. Okay? Streets to the Sweets. My brother, he said from point A to point B, because that's what's important. We ain't caught up in the matrix.
That's it.
Now I still got a question for you, Mr. Martin.
Yeah,
with you, I know that there's one series on I can't remember if it was Netflix or whatever, but it was called House of Cards, where it was a good series. They was really making power moves. I mean, you a real 48 Laws of Power kind of guy. A book, Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. For y'all that haven't read that book, it's a great piece. What did you see, and what kind of insights can you give us? Because it's so impressive that you ran for mayor. And I would just ask, what kind of insights did you get from that process, and then what's the art of making the deal?
There's a couple of things. One, in no particular order, right? One, you got to have some strategy. And strategy, number one, is being able to have power under control. Because what happens is, when you're working towards a deal and the first time somebody pisses you off, we go off. We let people know how we feel. Well, you can't do that. Not if you're trying to close the deal. Right? It's power under control. And sometimes when you're having meetings, you go in with a strategy. And if you don't have a strategy, it's okay to talk to people. Right? I've got a mentor. My mentor has a mentor. And you got to be able to have the meeting before the meeting. If I'm going to have a meeting with city council, I'm not just going to go. I'm going to understand what's happening, what's the root cause. They talk about a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunity, and what are the threats? Right. You have to intimately know that. And so, one, you got to be able to have going back to when we first started, you got to be able to have a network. One of the most powerful lessons somebody told me one time was like, Derrick, do me a favor. Open up your phone. How many CEOs, C-suite executives are in your phone? And at the time, you know, I grabbed my phone. He said, open up your phone, which I did. He said, how many C-suite executives are in your phone? I mean, I looked at him like, man, you kidding me? I don't know if I have anybody. That's a problem. Okay, 2, how many people in your phone you go to right now and say, look, man, I'm in a bind. I need you to let me hold 10,000. I'll get it back to you as soon as I can. To your crowd that's listening, how many people do you have in your phone that can let you hold $1,000 right now? 10,000, 25,000. Listen, if you don't have that depth in your Rolodex, you are in trouble.
In trouble.
It's as simple as that.
And
right?
you know, we've been cutting people off left and right because, you know, you can't. I can't call you, and I thought that you was my brother, and you know, and it's a difficult situation. So I definitely understand.
Right, and it goes back to this, Lamont. You and I, we've been rocking for a long time, right? And we've had opportunity to work on some projects together. But the thing that allows me to pick up the phone with you immediately, regardless of what I'm doing, is because you showed me who you are. You're there for me. You're faithful, your loyalty, your integrity, how you address your wife, how you move with your family. Man, that's everything to me. Your faith, your prayer life. Hey, man, you call me, I'm coming. I'm obligated to help you. I'm obligated to help you. Then guess what? If you go to your Rolodex and say you don't have somebody that can get you 10 grand right now, you call me, we're going to work that out because I know who you are. That 10 grand ain't to go buy that 2025 down payment on whatever. No, this is because you're working towards something. And because of that, I'm obligated to help you. What I'm saying is, don't be so quick to try to have your hand out as opposed to get somebody a hand up.
Never look down on a man when he's falling unless he's going to pick him up. Period.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about.
So, Mr. Martin, I got another question for you. So,
sure.
Atlanta, you know, we got all these chocolate cities. You know, from you with your economic development background, your business background, we have all these chocolate cities, but we only have one Atlanta that's thriving at that scale, that level. How can we, or what would be your advice to like a Memphis, East St. Louis, a DC, a Baltimore, to get to that level of a Atlanta from an economic development standpoint?
You know, it goes from a community level. It's easy, right? It's about pulling together like-minded individuals. Strength is in numbers, and if it just so happens that, you know, say the three of us decide that we want to do something in, I don't know, say Tampa, Florida. Well, guess what? You and I, three of us, we're going to get together. We're going to look at what our credit score is. We're going to look at our net worth. We're going to look at what we have as far as resources. And collectively, we're going to create a business, and we're going to pool our resources. I'm going to go to my banker and tell him we need this. You're going to go to your banker, and we're going to go to each other's bankers. One of them is going to give us an opportunity. If not, they're going to tell us how to. But the only way that works is we're all three pushing. You can't have one pushing, the other two pulling, because at the end of the day, you're going to end up right where you're at or lost.
Lost in the sauce.
Like minds. That's it. You got to have like minds moving in the same direction. And so you start looking at other cities, and there's some cities out there that's killing it, but they're killing it without making noise, which is critical. Because when you start making noise, now people start coming for you.
Coming for you.
Right? The first thing we do, we get a big contract. We want to start flossing. We want to start making noise no, keep your head down, get 10 more contracts. And by the time you get to the point to where you self-driven, it's too late for anybody to do anything about it. But the moment you get an opportunity, we go out there and we start flossing because we got to let everybody know that we got some money in our pocket. No, that's not what you do. You keep your head down and you keep pushing.
Keep pushing.
Because the moment you show up in that brand new 2025, now they think they're paying you too much.
And we need to keep all the jingles we trying to get right now. And you heard it first for real. We have to grow.
Grow your base.
grow in wisdom and grow in God and keep it all the way live. Because this, like you said, Mr. Wallin, to get off the couch, utilize your voice to be heard, know your banker, know who you're dealing with, and know your strengths and know your strengths in numbers. And in closing with my brother,
here's what I'll leave you guys with. And this is probably one of the most powerful sayings I can give to anybody. It's not that you can't, it's how can you. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, I don't care what it is. It's not that you can't, it's how can you.
That was deep. And I want you, for those that are listening, I want you to sink this in, okay? Because this is a jewel for my brother. You know what I'm talking about? And also know that his time is very valuable, okay? My brother, say that one more time, because there's someone that's with procrastination, that's struggling to move forward in their business, that don't understand the next move. And you just gave us wisdom that can apply to our lives for the rest of our lives. So listener, that's in a procrastination stage right now, check this out one more time for my brother.
So in life, when you're trying to get somewhere, I don't care if you're trying to scale your business. I don't care if you're trying to find a second or third stream of income. You can't say, I can't. I work this job all day. I got kids. No. What you have to say is, it's not that I can't. It's how can I? And guess what? If you can't figure that out by yourself, get with one of your brothers. If you know somebody that's doing it, go talk to them and ask them, how did you get started? Here's what I'm looking to do. Would you mind working with me? Either they're going to say yes or they say no. If they say no, guess what? You go to the next person. There are people out there that'll help you, but they'll help you as long as you're not wasting their time. So it's not that you can't, it's how can you. You want to get out of that apartment and get into your first home? It's not that you can't, it's how can you. It means you might have to buy that house and buy, as my brother would say, buy the best house in the worst neighborhood.
That's right.
It's a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. You buy it at $45,000, $50,000, put a little money into it, 6 years is worth $110,000. As George Jefferson said, we're moving on up.
No, that's right.
So it's not that you can't, it's how can you. And I'll tell you this, fellas, for those listeners that's in your neighborhood, if you pull together a workshop, I'll fly in on my own dime and I'll conduct a half-day workshop on my own expense. For your listeners.
We got you.
Pull it together at you pull it together at a local church, whatever it may be. I'll pay on my own nickel. I'll come and I will work with your people.
Oh man, we already got you, brother. You already know that for reals, and that's going to happen very, very quick. Because Fellowship Talk, we're doing tours. We're creating new financial literacy for American men as well as black men specifically.
Amen.
And
Amen.
We're doing that, and we definitely need to have you as an executive and a man of wisdom to be a part of that. And I want y'all to know, Street Wisdom, we're on our way up. Fellowship Talk with the Wallins. This episode is brought to you by Wallins.com. It's officially live. Go view, go check out, go witness history, merchandise, blogs, information, and resources to help those that help themselves. It's Fellowship Talk with the Wallins. Our special guest, our brother from the streets to the suites. I didn't say it, God said it. It's Derrick Martin in the house. Mr. Wallin, in closing, is there anything you'd like to say for our listeners?
Oh, I just want to give them a call to action as well to get active, and really try to help the community. And I just want to thank Derrick Martin, who is he's selfless. He's out there trying to help people, and we just appreciate him being on the show. We just really, really thank him.
We thank him so much, and it's officially real. Thank you so much, Mr. Martin. It's Fellowship Talk with the Wallins. Thank you for listening.